When I was 14 years old, I landed my first job. It was a company called Ecology Youth Corps. They only hired youth ages 14 to 18. We specialized in going about and picking up litter on the side of the road. I remember being very amazed at just how much trash we, in our small community, were throwing out. Every day from about 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., we would be hard at it, picking up the litter that had been thrown out. Today, I'd like to speak to you about littering and recycling. I'll cover what the issue is when it comes to this topic. I'll share some of the thoughts from those in favor and those against it. I'll share my stand on the issue and help you know what you can do to help. The definition of litter, according to conserveenergyfuture.com, is nothing but a piece of waste or rubbish that has been disposed improperly, without consent, and at wrong location. Littering simply means throwing away objects on the ground or leaving them lying on the ground instead of disposing them at a garbage can, recycling bin, or trash container. Did you know about 75% of Americans have admitted to having littered in the past 5 years? That's a lot of litter. Even if you only do it once, that's enough to make an impact. When someone litters, throwing their trash on the ground, it can cause some harmful things to happen, some of which are affecting wildlife. When these animals come across litter, they may try to eat it. When they do this, they can potentially choke on small objects such as cigarette butts. This especially happens to birds. There can also be the possibility of the trash making its way into the ocean, rivers, and lakes. This affects the marine wildlife. Not only does it affect the animals, but it also affects humans as well. According to the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, litter isn't just unsightly. It can cause vehicle accidents and injuries, smother plants, start fires, and harm or kill animals. It also attracts rats and harmful bacteria. I don't know for you, but for me, I was surprised to know that littering can actually cause car accidents. Isn't that crazy? If you think about it, you're driving down the highway at about 60 plus miles per hour, and you have to veer into another lane because there is a large piece of litter in the road. You might hit another vehicle, you could run off the road, or any number of things could happen in that situation. Issue of more concern. The biggest reasons are that it's just something that people aren't aware of. They don't understand how it affects them. Many people who litter don't think it damages or affects anything around them. Oftentimes, people are just too lazy to do anything about it. When people don't see how something is affecting them, they do not think it is a problem for them. For myself, when it comes to this topic, I believe that littering is something that is an issue. Like I said before, I used to pick up litter for a job. There was a lot of trash all over the place. This made me more aware of the issue, especially when I learned that it can cause accidents or other problems that can put my family and friends and myself in danger. This is something that I think should be improved. So how can we fix this problem? Well, we've all heard the phrase reduce, reuse, recycle. That's the key, recycling. So what is recycling? Well, first of all, I'd like to point out that recycle is a verb. In other words, it's an action. It's something you have to do. Dictionary.com says the definition is this: to treat or process used or waste materials so as to make a suitable for reuse. According to Melissa Denchak of the Natural Resources Defense Council, in 1980, recycling and composting kept 14.5 million tons of trash from landfills and incinerators in the United States. By 2013, that number had reached 87.2 million tons. When you have something that you're done with, but is still in good condition, you don't just throw it out, right? You usually try to give it to someone or sell it. I remember once getting a new digital camera. I still had an old one, but I wasn't about to throw it away. We had a yard sale and I sold it. It is the same with trash. There are many things that we can reuse trash for. For example, when you send an aluminum can to be recycled, it gets melted down and made into something else aluminum, such as another can. So rather than making more and more cans, we can reuse the ones we already use. Just like if you're drinking out of a cup of water all day, you can reuse that cup after each use. If you used a different cup every time, then that would create a lot of dishes. And no one likes to do the dishes, right? You would use the same cup all day. It's the same with the trash we could recycle. We should reuse it over and over. We can recycle it many, many times. Another solution is properly disposing of our trash. For most of my life, I have lived out of town. We never had any garbage company come and take our trash away. So no one would do it for us. We had to do it for ourselves. This is what we did. When the garbage cans inside were full, we had larger ones outside. We would take the trash out and pull it in those. Usually, we could go about a month before the big ones were full. When we filled the big ones, we'd have to take time on the weekend to do what we called a dump run. In every community, there is what we call a dump. They're better known as sanitary landfills. Webster's dictionary defines a landfill as a system of trash and garbage disposal in which the waste is buried between layers of earth to build up low-lying land. So that's what we did. We took to the landfill so that it could be disposed of properly. I invite you to take opportunities to recycle trash you know can be reused. Please take time to dispose of trash in the correct places. I hope you've been able to learn from this. It is something that is important and we need to do it. Just to recap, litter is trash out of place. It belongs in a landfill. To help reduce the amount of trash we can recycle, remember to look for opportunities to do so. Thank you so much.